Across the world, we have really depleted our workforce that have skills in basic science in their own laboratories and also pursue mechanistic clinical research in people. And these are the people who, in their own experience, bridge the translational divide between basic science and the mechanistic elucidation of disease and drug action in people. They have become rare birds indeed, and we pay a price for that. We pay a price in terms of the drug development process, we pay a price in terms of the regulatory process, and we pay a price in terms of the drug discovery process. And we pay a price as consumers, because we've got to the stage now where physicians get most of their information about drugs from the same place you do as consumers, and that's direct-to-consumer advertising. Now, along with these conventional aspects of translational medicine, one of the things that it's brought to the fore is the repurposing of previously approved drugs that have now been abandoned. And suffice it to say that this is my best example of repurposing. Aspirin, developed initially for your aches and pains, and I may be turning to it for that again, but now used almost exclusively for cardioprotection. And the repurposing of using low doses of aspirin for this reason, although aspirin was discovered by this gentleman, Hoffman in Bayer, all the science, the basic science and the translational science and the clinical science that led to its use as a cardioprotective was done in academia. Alan alluded to the fact that we were interested in the cardiotoxicity of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like Vioxx. And here was a drug that worked very well for some people and caused a real problem for a small number of people. So what we're interested in doing is to try and do the science to determine who are the people in whom this drug can work effectively and safely. Can we actually go beyond the art of medicine to predict response, both efficacy and safety? So NHLBI from the NIH has funded a big consortium that I'm involved with to try and address this problem. And essentially what we do initially is we try and generate hypotheses by looking at large numbers of people who may have been on these drugs and did not have heart attacks, and see if there is a differential signature in their genome or in their metabolism, that response to drug exposure, that may discriminate those who didn't have a problem. And then we do a lot of basic science in different model systems, but importantly also in us as a model system, to try and develop information around that network that is perturbed by these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, to come up with new hypotheses around how we might predict response that we then test prospectively at scale. So that's another example of where translational medicine is taking us, the more progressive personalization of the drugs that we actually use. This is a challenge that we all need to respond to, no matter what we do for a living or if we're just patients or prospective patients. It's a fundamental relevance to us all, and it's important that we remain in a leading position in this country to really drive this process. And the solutions are usually political at the end of the day, which is one of the reasons I'm here. Hopefully it's the reason you're here too. And sometimes political realization of success can seem very far-fetched, but sometimes it can exceed our expectations. Thanks very much.